Can you see your foot?
Yeah. The doctor said today was the day that I could stop wearing the Aircast boot.
I was afraid of breaking my wrist.
You didn't have any frames. Right. Because you're trying to frame me away. There you go. So that's my first frame over, right? Start to do this. You know how kids are nowadays. They have no respect. They always know better. So, we've been looking at this idea of splitting the legs, but kind of the general rule of thumb that we were looking at when you were trying to play an underneath guard, which is the best way to sweep an athletic person, best way to get to play top against somebody who is athletic. You first split their legs with two limbs, okay? Like this is splitting his legs with two limbs. Once this happens, my next job is to get a third limb underneath him and pull myself underneath him, right? And so it's like a very simplified version of this, but then we were looking at all of our different positions to get into X, K, or single leg X, right? So now we're gonna look at just a few other thoughts on this, but while we are getting in worse positions, while we're starting to get behind. And so I thought a good place to start would be looking at knee cut, because so many of us use it, and it's such a hard position to play against, okay? When we are dealing with knee cut, especially when we're looking to get underneath the guy, but this is just a simple way of defending. Sometimes I teach like the frame, the shoulder, and then toes in the hip. This works great too, okay? I just find that this is a little bit easier. When he's trying to knee cut me, if I just take my hand, go ahead and finish your knee cut here. And I'm underneath Jeff, okay? He went to knee cut, and I took my fingertips and I hooked the back of his knee, okay? He cannot go this way anymore. Just nothing there for him to, all right? I just have his leg immobilized here. Now what I need is I have one split, and then my hand is my other split. All I need is this third limb underneath, and I'm gonna be able to get underneath Jeff as long as he doesn't win this near side underhook. Okay? So usually my elbows are staying tight, and I'm letting him fight and try to dig deep and work, and then when I get in, it's really easy, okay? But this position happens a lot, and you really don't actually need to go into any type of real guard when you get this position. I mean, I have the underhook of the leg, and I have something that can kick him away from me, right? Whether my feet were in, whether they were X guard, whether they were whatever, just something to kick him away. I'm gonna grab his upper thigh. It is very important that I'm on the upper thigh here. If I just have my hand on the shin, he is gonna have so much mobility, he's gonna get out of this. But if I grab the upper thigh, if he tries that same thing, his leg does not move, okay? Then what I do is I make sure I'm on my side so I can start to get up in base, okay? When we get up in base, we need our bottom leg free, and that lets us start to come up, okay? So we're down, I'm on my side, I'm on my elbow, and then I'm on my leg. And then when I stand, I try to stand tall and walk towards him to knock him down, okay? If you're playing this position, you're going, hey, this feels, it's a little too athletic. I feel like maybe against bigger guys, I have trouble getting into X. Maybe when I hook, I just switch to D half, okay? Same exact idea. My hand is hidden behind the knee already. If that's where you go, you'll notice that the momentum kind of carries you. As soon as you start to get here, if you take your top arm and straighten it, you can catch the other upper thigh and knock the person down. Tie this to your X guard, any of your other sweeps. Top guy, just give about 20% resistance, but keep the knee cut in mind so they get extra work with the knee cut. As you're going into these positions, you're looking for that knee cut just to start to threaten, right? And give them time to work and kind of feel out the position. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
like,
If they're really
I
so
can't
like,
get my hand in there.
yeah, if she was really getting deep on this, go ahead. I would probably hand fight that first.
So you don't need like, you just need a.
No, this is enough to try to drive through on this. See how easily, it's just like, as long as you keep their knee from clearing your upper thigh. If I go here and then try it, it doesn't work. When she drives down on that, she beats that thigh.
So it's like this grip, okay? Like just,
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
need
try to drive through it. I'll give you more weight. So like even from here. See, I cannot get that in the right space. So when I go here, I'm here.
Yep. Okay. So you're saying super tight right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, if I'm here, I'm Darce.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking darts. I was just thinking control, like control of any kind.
Yeah.
And then
it's easy,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm always, when I'm here, it's this. I'm like, my elbow's almost framed on my thigh,
Got it.
right? And so everything, I'm trying to roll up on this.
Okay.
I feel like this, even without being deep behind your knee.
Yeah.
I feel like if you tried to knee cut here.
Yeah. I mean, you almost had maybe I've got a little bit of an shield too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Were you there when I whipped out with my towel and chased me down with a rash guard, took me down, and then hit me like 100 times?
I was. You were like,
I was like 12. Yeah. I was a kid. It was illegal for sure. I'm a belt.
The bottom, and then we will fight to the death.
we were joking on Sunday because the last text we got from him was like a couple months ago. He was like, man, I just like found out about this like drug market in Portland. It's like some underground market where you can just buy any drug. And he's like, it was so cool. And then he just never texted us again.
Oh no.
You look like we've been doing a whole lot. And you've done 6 minutes of movement. You know?
Betting on live Headnod is too.
I love it. Who am I betting on first? I'll bet you on these rounds. I've got dollar bills in my. All right.
Who we betting
Let's
on
start
first, Josh?
our day.
I'll go $1 on White Jeff versus Asian Jeff. White Jeff.
Oh man.
You only get like 30 cents for that.
It's broken. We need to call an ambulance. You call an ambulance. You get his ass. We'll drive him to the hospital. It's scary. You're good. Don't look at it.
First night back. All right, Brian. Glad to see you're alive. Got your feet. Give everybody a recap of what happened on the injury night. Just give us your point of view.
A couple Wednesdays ago, it's my first time training in a couple weeks. Came in to train, I was super excited to be back at the gym. And I was like, all right, we're not gonna go too hard. Your cardio is probably not great. Of course, first round, did not take it easy, started going pretty hard. I pull guard. My second sweep attempt, I think, I go overhead with him. And as I go overhead, he makes it over. I roll backwards, and I don't land on my feet. I land directly on my toes. And one toe was already taped up because I had cut it pretty bad a couple weeks ago prior to that. And I think that stabilized it a little too well. And whenever I came down on my toes, my foot went one way and my left big toe stayed going a different direction. and it completely just popped out. Completely clean dislocate, but also the bone punctured the skin and the toe was out at almost a complete 90-degree angle, and it was just ready to fall off at any point is what it looked like. It didn't really hurt too bad in the moment. I think that was shock though, just all adrenaline and shock. So yeah, cut to the video, cut to me asking Josh to save my life.
Yeah, what were your like initial thoughts like right when?
I do notice it pretty quickly. I tried to deny reality. I wanted to turn back time because I did not want any more time off jiu-jitsu or any medical bills.
That was the first thing.
First thing in my head was no, 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 no. Go back, go back, go back. And obviously there's no going back, and I knew that in the moment. Out a good 3 months, Doc said I can't train jiu-jitsu for 3 months. He's worried about kicking off like a runner stance kind of motion.
What happened after you realized the injury happened?
At first I couldn't because I didn't see my foot, but I knew something felt off, and I did hear the pop, and I thought, shit, I probably broke my toe. And then he gets up and we're both like, oh shit, like kind of at my foot. What happened directly after, I'm squeezing it, waiting for the pain to come, squeezing it, waiting for the pain to come. You guys are all trying to decide whether we should drive or get an ambulance. Steve's already on the phone calling an ambulance. Then I just tell Josh to take me to your car, and I think we decide we're just gonna drive. Rob and Josh pick me up, carry me to your car. Whole gym gives me an applause. In my head I'm thinking, why the fuck is everybody clapping? Nothing to clap about. Why do I have an applause right now? Or just like glad to see me go. Yeah, we get in your car, you drive me to the hospital. I spend a good probably 3 hours at Gateway,
What about how long did we wait in the waiting room?
Waiting room was probably a little too long for the severity of the
You
injury.
probably waited in the waiting room like 40-45 minutes, right?
Was it that long?
Dude, probably about 40 minutes.
That was
at least 40 minutes.
Quickest 40 minutes of the night because I spent another 2.5 hours there at that hospital. And they couldn't do shit because it's
Granite City
Hospital. So, and the entire time in the car, before we even get off Ponson Road, I'm pretty sure our dad calls us and he's like, Bryce, do not take your brother to Gateway. And we're both like, Dad, I feel like someone should look at it right now. Even though we thought it was going to be right now, it took another 45 minutes and they were like, there's not shit we can do for you here. We're going to transfer you to SLU.
What was your bone out of your body?
My bone was sticking out for a good 3 hours probably before they decided we should pop that back in. And
pretty idiotic.
yeah, it was
on their end.
It was not the greatest. And actually they didn't want to do it until SLU was like, did you pop that back in? Did you cover that?
Yeah.
And they were like, no.
Can we see your foot?
Yeah.
How many weeks out is this?
This is
2 weeks?
2 weeks out, so it was 2 weeks
2 weeks ago today?
Yeah. Today was the day that I could stop wearing the Aircast boot. I probably haven't been wearing that for a couple days now. I still keep it a little wrapped because it still leaks a little bit. The stitches almost have all fallen out.
This isn't like too much, right? Just having you like... I honestly expected it to be a lot more like purpley and swollen.
It was still pretty...
It is definitely on that side.
It was still, I think there's a couple stitches down there that are still falling out, unless I just pulled them out. Oops. But yeah, the bone was sticking through all of that. My toe was probably out at like this angle, right?
Yeah,
Something close to that.
if not more. Well, glad to see you back in class.
Yeah, just watching. Gonna go work out, get a workout in. Good news is Doc said I can work out. So we'll just have a good 3 months of working out, getting strong, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me for the next 3 months, probably till the new year. Just watching class, trying to soak in knowledge where I can. Watch the same instructional 100 times to get it in my head.
Best case scenario out of like a pretty bad scenario.
Yeah, could have been worse. Could have lost the toe.
Yeah.
Strictly to Gateway.
Yeah.